Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, my dear brothers and sisters in Islam, and my respected brothers and sisters in humanity. Tonight, I invite you to pause, just stop, and ask yourself the greatest question of all. Did all of this, the heavens, the earth, the galaxies, the trees, the animals, you, me, did it all come by chance? Is this life a product of nothing? Or is there a creator, a designer, a supreme intelligence behind it all? Part 1. Big Bang and the Origin of the Universe. Modern science tells us that the universe began with an event called the Big Bang. Everything, time, space, and matter, was once compressed into a single point. Then, suddenly, there was a massive explosion. This explosion created the expanding universe we see today. The stars, the galaxies, the planets, all came from that one moment. But what if I told you that the Quran, revealed 1,400 years ago, already mentioned this? In Surah Al-Anbiya 21:30, Allah says, "Do not the disbelievers see that the heavens and the earth were joined together and we split them apart?" Subhanallah. This matches the Big Bang exactly. Joined together, singularity. Split apart, expansion. How could a man who could not read or write, living in the 7th century desert, describe a scientific fact only discovered in the 20th century? He didn't. Allah did. Part 2. Life from water. The same verse continues, "And we made every living thing from water. Will they not then believe?" Science confirms, water is essential for life. Every living cell contains water. Life cannot exist without it. No scientist discovered this before the Quran was revealed. The Quran doesn't claim to be a science book, but when it speaks about science, it is always accurate. Part 3. The early universe was smoke. In Surah Fussilat 41:11, the Quran says, "Then he turned to the heaven when it was smoke." NASA now confirms. The early universe was filled with hot gases, a dark, smoke-like substance. This is known as cosmic smoke, or nebula, the raw material from which stars are born. How did the Quran know this? Because the one who revealed it is the creator of the cosmos. Part 4. Everything in pairs, Surah Yasin 36:36. Glory be to him who created all things in pairs, from what the earth grows, from themselves, and from things they do not know. Biology now confirms that plants have male and female parts. Animals exist in pairs. Even subatomic particles, like electrons and protons, come in pairs. DNA is structured in pairs. Things we did not know until the 20th century, but the Quran already said, "and of things they do not know." Part 5. The female bee in Surah An-Nahl 16:68. "And your Lord inspired the bee. Take your homes in the mountains and the trees and in what they build." The Arabic grammar used here is feminine. Today, science confirms the worker bees, those who build, gather, and protect, are all female. Male bees don't work, they only mate. The Quran knew this before microscopes and biology labs. Part 6. Barriers between salt and fresh water. Surah Ar-Rahman 55:19-20. He released the two seas, meeting side by side. Between them is a barrier they do not transgress. Modern oceanography confirms salt water and fresh water don't mix immediately. There is an invisible barrier between them, called a halocline again. No human could have known this in the 7th century. Muhammad was not a marine biologist. Part 7. The logic of creation. Let me ask you something. If you saw a watch on the beach, would you believe it made itself? If you opened a book and found 300 pages of perfect grammar, deep meaning, and beautiful structure, would you say, "Oh, it just appeared"? No. Because design requires a designer. This universe, more precise than any machine, more vast than any book, more perfect than any system, must have a creator. And that creator is Allah. Part 8. Quran, the final revelation. The Quran is not just a book of science, it is a book of science. Science for those who reflect, those who question, those who think. Allah repeatedly asks, will they not then think? Will they not then reason? Will they not reflect on the Quran? Islam is not blind faith. Islam is faith built on evidence, reflection, and logic. Dr. Maurice Bucaille, a French physician, said, "The Quran is perfectly in harmony with modern science. It is inconceivable that a man from the 7th century could have authored such a book." Professor Keith Moore, embryologist from Canada. The stages of development described in the Quran are in perfect agreement with what modern embryology has discovered. It is almost unbelievable. Let me ask the atheist, you say everything came from nothing, but what is nothing? Can nothing give rise to the laws of physics, DNA code, the emotion of love, the beauty of a sunset? Even the most basic code, like 0101, needs a mind to write it. So what about the code of life, the DNA in your cells? It's more complex than all the books in a library. Code requires a coder, design requires a designer, and life requires the creator, Allah. More scientific science, human fingerprint, Surah Al-Qiyamah 75:4. Yes, we are able to put together in perfect order the tips of his fingers. Today we know. No two fingerprints are the same. Fingerprints are used in forensic science, identity mountains as pegs. Surah An-Naba 78.6-7. Have we not made the earth as a bed and the mountains as pegs? Geology confirms. Mountains have roots deep in the earth like pegs. They stabilize the earth's crust. My brothers and sisters, this life is short. The universe is vast. We are travelers. And the Quran is the map. This book, unlike any other, answers your questions before you ask them. It guides your heart. It cures your doubts. It gives you purpose. I don't ask you to accept Islam blindly. I ask you to reflect, to think. Don't follow the crowd. Don't worship trends. Don't get lost in this dunya. Find the truth. The Quran is waiting for you, and if you open it with sincerity, it will speak to you. Final message. My dear brothers and sisters, you were not created without purpose. This world is not an accident. This life is not a game. There is a creator, and he sent down a message, the Quran. If you are Muslim, read it, understand it, live it. If you are not Muslim, read it, question it, reflect on it, but don't ignore it, because this book may be the only book that truly answers your questions. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.